Heidi ho ho, and welcome back to my Accounting 1110 lecture. And I have a goal with you on this pencast, and that goal is to determine how you calculate inventory costs under the perpetual method, taking inventory. And in our first example, we're going to use specific identification. This particular example is the first one that's done in your book, and if you're looking at your book to follow along, it would be the first example on page 368 in the Horngren 10th edition. And if you're not, you don't need it anyway, because I'm going to give you all of the facts. I like the specific ID because it's easy. I just need to know what units were sold from what batch. My accounting records would have to tell me that. In our chapter, they tell us the sale on 8/15 where we sold 4 units. That one was for beginning inventory, and that 3 were from the purchase on 8/15. And that when we sold on 8/31, when we sold 10 units, 1 was from beginning inventory, and the other 9 were from the purchase on 8/26. I like to use T accounts to solve these, so I'm going to draw a nice big T account here where I can work, and it's on my inventory account. And I am going to first list the purchases of inventory, and then I'm going to show the sales as they occur and use dates so you can watch. We have beginning inventory on August 1st of 2 units at $350 a unit. That totals $700. The next thing, if you'll recall from the example I gave you before, was on August 5th. We purchased an additional 4 units at $360, and 4 times 360 equals $1,440. The next thing that happens is on August 15th, I sell 4. The question then becomes, which 4 did I sell? Well, under specific ID, you literally identify which 4. 1 was from beginning inventory, so 1 at $350 a unit, and that means there's only 1 of these left. I had 2, I sold 1, there's 1 left, so I'll change that number right here to show 1. And then it says 3 were from the purchase on 8/5, so 3 of these are at $360. And 4 minus 3 leaves 1 at the $360 units. So I sold 1 at $350 and 3 at $360. That comes to $1,080. So I sold 4 units, and it will be a total of $1,430 coming out of inventory as a credit and going into cost of goods sold. Let's keep going. The next thing that happens is on August 26th, I purchase an additional 12 units of inventory at $380 a unit. 12 times $380 a unit, $4,560. Then, on August 31st, I sell 10 units. If you'll recall from my facts, 1 was from beginning inventory, so 1 at $3.50, I sell this unit, my first one, at $3.50, and now that entire layer is gone. And then it says I sell 9 more from the $8.15 purchase, or from the $8.26 purchase. Looks like I have a date wrong. Which date's wrong? It's this one, 8/5. Sorry, sidetrack. Anyway, I sell 9 from the $8.26 purchase, and those were at $380 each, so 9 at $380. So if I sell 9 of those, I have 3 left. So right now I have 1 left at $360 and 3 left at $380. And here are the 10 that I sold. One was at $350 and 9 were at $380. 9 times 380 is $3,420. So the cost of this sale was $3,770 if you add those up. I have now recorded all of my purchases as I showed you on the first page, and I've recorded both sales. What do I have left in ending inventory? Well, in my specific ID, I've sold all of the ones I had in beginning inventory. I have from 8/5, 1 left at $360, and I have 3 left at $380. 1 times 360 is 360. 3 times 380 is 1,140. If you add those together, my ending inventory would be $1,500 in ending inventory. And what's the cost of goods sold that I've taken out? Well, I've taken out $1,430 from my sale of 4 on August 15th, and I've taken out $3,770 from my sale of August 31st. Add $1,430 and $3,770 together, and that shows you my cost of goods sold is $5,200. Let's drop down to that basic calculation that we said we were going to always do. Our basic inventory cost of goods sold calculation. Remember, in beginning inventory, I had $700. That was on 8/1. And that my net purchases, which I had 2 on 8/5 and 8/26, the $1,440 and the $4,560 equaled $6,000. So my total available, if you'll recall, was $6,700. And in my specific identification example, I have in ending inventory $1,500 left. So if I had $6,700 and I have $1,500 left, then my cost of goods sold must have been the difference. 6,700 minus 15 is 5,200, and notice that does agree with what my T account for inventory shows. I can now answer those 2 questions on how to record sales. You recall, on 8/15, I sold 4 units at $500 each. Accounts receivable, 4 times 500 was $2,000, and I recorded it as sales. We have now calculated the cost of goods sold, and the reduction of inventory will be for the sale on 8/15. That was the $1,430 in my T account. First in, or specific ID, sorry. And now for 8/31. I sold 5 units. No, I sold 10 units. $500 each, so $5,000. Again, that was given to us on the front page, and I record the sale of $5,000. What was that cost of goods sold? And we calculated it under specific ID to be $3,770. So cost of goods sold, $3,770. and take it out of inventory, and she showed you an inventory account for $37.70. That is how you come up with cost of goods sold. Now you can compare my inventory T account approach, where I calculated ending inventory and cost of goods sold for you, with what the author did in his perpetual inventory record, and hopefully that will help you see it. So much for specific ID. How about we move on to FIFO? Thanks for joining me.